Let's have a little show real quick.
I've been bout my papyrus since I've been in it. Put me in a debate, you know I'm gon' win it. If I scream black power, don't get timid. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. If I say black city, I'm talking about Kemet. Primary research and we done pushed it to the limits. All you dudes finished. The king counting cattle up with brother Reggie. When I'm in Oakland, smoke smoking, bro, they love the Chevy. Back in the day, it was the spokes on the chariot. Long procession when the king got carried out to every spot. Woman looking nice as ISIS. I read ancient texts, so my advice is priceless. Nubian gold, your ice don't entice us. Beating me harder than counting grains in your spices. Your heart was beating, but your brain dead. You're lifeless. Yo, they ain't nothing like us, yo. Don't try to make me mad. Make me smile and say you love me, man. That's real right there. Come on. You should listen to your main man's advice. Do a YouTube and apologize like Dice. Or the back fade coming like the Antichrist. Egyptologists sent me reading and said that I'm nice. I got a speller with your name on it. I'm like Sargon. You the type of dude wake up in your car gone. Told, cause of the money you owe. Before you stream, you should clean up that humble abode. Like I'm not in city for my woman in gold. I keep the pseudos running, people coming in droves. You catch me on a live stream with Pan-African James. When we building, call us by our African names. I'm for the children. And ain't nothing happened to change. We on that black hype, so we still packing them things for protection. Got connections, got connections. My complexion, pure black, that's the essence. Make me smile. You love me? Show me some love. All right.
What up? Man, I just was sitting back looking over some of these videos of how when going against Black Egypt goes horribly wrong. Go and grab your popcorn. Let's have some fun for a short little minute. And I want to see if y'all remember how bad it was.
When Scamming the People Goes Wrong, featuring Bobby Boogers. In this clip, Bobby Boogers wants you to think Smash was not well received by the scholars.
Favorite part of the video right here was Smash. He's on there with a whole chamber of doctors. And this what he did. Big up to Smash Scamwell.
As far as my artistry with what I'm learning from you guys, and I want to share a lyric. I'm not going there. I'm just going to say something I think you would enjoy. My last song, I said, melodic script in my cartouche. I rolled through with them newbies, cartouche. Now, I know, see, a few of you might enjoy that because we know how cartouche is who they sent out to get the brothers from the South when they had beef about the 5th or 6th dynasty.
Let's listen to Bobby Boogers' contention with this video.
I want you to notice the nigga ain't got no suit on.
Bobby Boogers is mad. Smash has no suit on.
Oh yeah, he's suited up for the white man.
He's suited and booted.
Hold on, let me process this shit.
Like they say, y'all always get the white skulls, but y'all.
He jump on there rapping
He stood up
in a hoodie. Boy, you better go ahead, yo. I got you, yo. Yeah, when it comes to the sisterhood and doctors, all of them yo, this be the perfect time to be three-piece suit up right now. You got about 8 doctors, yo. 8 doctors, yo.
And women, and women doctors.
Did you notice he only played one clip and didn't really have anything to say? Let's see what Bobby Boogers left out. And if you can confirm what this is in his left nostril, you win a free book.
We go into the terms, Kemet. We do a lot of hard research on these matters. And I just wanted to say, I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to let you know what we're doing. We're not doing it necessarily inside of academia, but the methodology that we learn from following people like yourselves is affecting us. And I don't know if you're following some of this conversation in the social media platform where it's taking a different stage. We have a facet of Black people who are now arguing, wait, the ancient Egyptians were not Black.
Talking about the pseudo
And
killers.
since it's being pumped into this machine, it's getting a lot more media than a lot of the work that some of us are doing to show the multiplicity or how it was actually in ancient Egypt. And so we find a lot of resistance to what we're bringing forth, but I don't want to filibuster or anything, but I do want to let you know that there are others out here following your work with only the intent to support and to get this conversation to more people.
Thank you, Jonathan. I wanted to ask you, are any of you all connected with the Nubia platform, the K-Nubia platform?
Because I have not heard anyone mention the K-Nubia platform.
Because Mario Beatty is teaching a class on Meta Nature, and he posts like a whole bunch of sources like every class. So if even if just one of y'all join, because it's a subscription based, because it's connected with Narrative, Karen Hunter. Are you familiar with In Class with Carr?
I'm not familiar with In Class with Carr. I am very familiar with the work of Dr. Mario Beatty. We support his work and even use some of his statements about Kemet.
Well, I mean, he's up to like 50 something lessons, but it's all archived, so you can start at the beginning. And like I said, he uploads attachments for like every class, and it's community based. So almost all the people in there are just non-academics studying Meta Nature.
Wonderful. Thanks for the resource.
Bobby Boogers is a hater. Let's see how they really felt about the bars on Harkuf.
I'm not going there. I'm just going to say something I think you would enjoy. My last song, I said, melodic script in my cartouche. I rolled through with them Nubians, Harkuf. Now, I know, see, a few of you might enjoy that because we know how Harkuf is who they sent out to get the brothers from the South when they had beef about the 5th or 6th dynasty. And so I am trying to let it merge with the art as well so we can get it out with more people. And I know the melodic script has nothing to do with Nubian or Nobian. I think you were just
Nobian. Wait, now, come on now.
I don't know that then. Does it have
It 100% does.
Then I'm right on point. All right, thank you.
Dr. Solange Ashby and Dr. Rosetta Cash confirmed Jonathan Owens' lyric to be correct, accurate, and appropriate. Now, let's see when Booger stopped the video.
This is my favorite part of the video right here with Smash. He's on there with a whole chamber of doctors. And this week, big up to Smash Scamwell.
As far as my artistry with what I'm learning from you guys, and I want to share a lyric. I'm not going there. I'm just going to say something I think you would enjoy. My last song, I said, melodic script in my cartouche. I rolled through with the Nubians, Harkuf. Now, I know, see, a few of you might enjoy that because we know how Harkuf is who they sent out to get the brothers from the South when they had beef about the 5th or 6th dynasty.
I want you to notice.
I want you to notice where Onk stopped the video.
I want you to notice the nigga ain't got no suit on.
Bobby Boogers has nothing to say.
Oh yeah, he suited up for the white man.
He's suited and booted.
Like they say, you always get the white skulls, but y'all.
He jump on there rapping in a hoodie.
hoodie.
Boy, you better go ahead, yo. I got you, yo. Yeah, when it comes to the sisterhood and doctors, all of them this be the perfect time to be three-piece suit up right now. You got about 8 doctors, yo. 8 doctors, yo.
And
Hey,
women, and women doctors.
Women,
What is Robin implying here?
women. Best thing you do is start rapping.
See where Boogers stopped the video? He didn't want to show you this. Dr. Ben Levy told Joel Kemet means Black City, and PK's cut it out the video.
So, okay, Kemet means Black City. I would love some content on that. You know, help me to understand what they meant by that. And then Joseph Ben Levy mentioned Kemet to you. I wanted to know.
That was Rosetta, but I'm with you though.
Okay. Rosetta mentioned Kemet to you.
No, either way, I can go with you on that though.
All right, but I wanted to know. The second question is: did they refer to others as Kemet to you, or is that just for those within their, Egypt territory? So that was it.
That's a good question. Well, one of the things that, as a polyglot, I like to say that if you really want to understand what a term means, you have to learn how the people themselves viewed that term in their language, which means that when you see, hieroglyphs, the symbols themselves will tell you what they mean. You know that when you're looking at the word, Kemet, and it has an owl in it, and it has a determinative for city, and it has a determinative for what Diop describes as a crocodile, as a piece of charcoal that's described as a crocodile tail. If you see all these different terms, or the loaf of bread, that's a T. When you see those terms, they say what you see is what it is. It's what they call a WYSIWYG. What you see is what you get. All right, so that whenever you see it written or a form of it written, it always means the same thing all the time. And depending on the context in which it is used, that will determine for you whether or not it may or may not represent people. If it's representing people, it's going to have a determinative for a man and a woman at the end of it, usually with 3 strokes under, meaning more than one. If it's by itself, it could mean something else entirely, depending on because there are many different ways that the word Kim is used. And that depends on, again, what is following Kim. But that's always clear in the language. It's in the glyphs. Oftentimes when we see these things written by people who know no glyphs, or who throw them in some book in English, more often than not, their context is not quite correct. And this is why we advocate for learning the language, learning the glyphs, going out to K-Nubian, studying the glyphs with Dr. Mario Beatty, because he's like an expert. I mean, we got a lot of people who are good at it, but that brother is like really good. All right. And there's several of us who are good. I could teach glyphs. Rosetta could teach some glyphs, but I always say, yeah, I'm good, but Mario was a whole lot better. And I've been studying since 1977. But at the same time, you got to always look at that all the time. It makes a difference. I just got through studying hieratic, and to see Kemet in hieratic, it's like a whole nother different type of flavor of looking at it, and just looking at it straight on, you wouldn't know what it was. And dare say, Solange is, a demotic person. When I see demotic, it just looked like a bunch of scratches and stuff on a piece of paper to me. I don't know what's going on, right? I don't know what's going on, all right?
Some more shit Boogers didn't want you to see.
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak and to introduce myself. My name is Jonathan Owens. I've written, my latest work is called Black Like Osiris, right? And so I titled it that way on purpose, obviously because it's more marketable. But the overall thesis is to find out what is behind this Black symbolism, this Black reality that has sometimes been written off by Egyptologists. For instance, Kemet means the fertile Nile silt. I can say right now, just from my limited research, that all of us would be pressed to come up with a primary source that says the ancient Egyptians stated it this way.
Bobby Boogers did not want you to know Smash challenged 8 PhDs to come up with a source for the Black Silt claims. Shame.
We go into the terms, Kemet. We do a lot of hard research on these matters, and I just wanted to say, I don't know, I just wanted to let you know what we're doing. We're not doing it necessarily inside of academia, but the methodology that we learn from following people like yourselves is affecting us, and I don't know if you're following some of this conversation in the social media platform where it's taking a different stage. We have a facet of Black people who are now arguing, wait, the ancient Egyptians were not Black.
Smash was talking about the Baltimore booger bully Bobby Blatter. He almost peed on himself last live stream. Peace.
Oh, this was the old school. Hey, if you missed this whole episode when it was live in the conscious community, you probably missed the funniest, the most eventful lamb blasting in the conscious community when some agents or whatever, I don't know, some dudes decide they need to take down Black Egypt. It did not go over well. And so, since they lost on the scholarship, completely lost all the way, didn't have nothing to say with the scholarship, I was saying, okay, just go on and get all the way goofy. Just go on and have some fun with it because they don't got nothing when it comes to the scholarship. Ooh, this was so funny back then.
So the first question I have for you, my brother Ngozi, Chief X recently did a presentation on my channel claiming that the ancient Egyptian people were not Black. Do you agree or disagree with him?
No, I disagree. The Egyptians were Black. No, I disagree. The Egyptians were Black.
Final words is not to apply. They're not talking about damn Egyptians.
Let me stop. Let's go back. And before you go to war on the YouTube streets, you got to at least be able to be a cool researcher. Because y'all didn't, all the data is right there on Nubia. All the data is right there on YouTube. Everything y'all done said over the years, all I got to go do is find it. Cats ain't got enough time to find it, huh? See? When I say Black, what?
So the first question I have for you, my brother Ngozi, Chief X recently did a presentation on my channel claiming that the ancient Egyptian people were not Black. Do you agree or disagree with him?
No, I disagree. The Egyptians were Black. No, I disagree. The Egyptians were Black.
Final words is not to apply. They're not talking about damn Egyptians.
Y'all want to see a dead body?
If you got a Nubian cattle culture, potted and all that shit that migrated from, and language that migrated from north of Egypt, like, what are you trying to say, though? It tells you all that.
At what point did ancient Egyptian culture become distinct?
That's not the point we make. We saying that what it became what it came out of.
Nobody denying what it came out of.
That's normally how culture survived. I know what that's. So it derived out of a nappy head group of motherfuckers. So it derived out of a nappy head group of motherfuckers. So it derived out of a nappy head group of motherfuckers. You ain't smoking weed as long as I did. Don't smoke crack as long as I did.
You don't smoke no more, family, but
you were very high.
Trying to run up on Smash. The boys fought they fight, had an illiterate leader, that's why they thought they right. I know you ain't back fucking with cracks, but you was tripping saying Egyptians wasn't Black, bruh.
Okay, here we go. I can tell some problems right now. So you said a few things that most people can't even put together in their mind. So I would like to say this. When you say to me that based off of American standards, I automatically say, well, that's colonizing standards. That was the standard set by colonizers and the racist white supremacists. They were very supremacist in their approach to racialize indigenous people and put their own tags on them. So that's the American standard. That am I wrong? Am I wrong in that? I want to make sure
You are not wrong.
Okay, so the museums, the curators say they're indigenous Africans to get away from that, because we know we studied Charles Darwin, right? And he basically said that humans come from Africa first. He's one of the first people to report that, right? And he's basically saying that, you know, skin color can actually range. So we recognize this. And like you said, the patriarchy, I like the way you say that. The patriarchy, right? I like that. And so, but when you make the point to say by American standards they black, I'm cool with that. But when you make the point to say by American standards they black, I'm cool with that. When you make the point to say by American standards they black, I'm cool with that.
I mean, like Smash, plain and simple, is a bona fide rap artist. He started him and his buddy started the Hyro crew. You know what I'm saying? Dedicated, you know what I'm saying, to studying the language, the glyphs. You know what I'm saying? When he comes to these series, it's like qualified to challenge the curators. Qualified to challenge the curators. Qualified to challenge the curators. You know what I'm saying? In museums. All right?
Many months later.
When it was time to call your mother name, I did that. When it was time to call your mother name, I did that. I did that. Now all of a sudden, when the experts come into play, oh, I agree with them. How? Then why would we have argued? Well, we weren't talking about race. Well, what the hell was we talking about? What is their stance? Do y'all know? Because if the stance is that the Egyptians call themselves black people, every single expert we brought said different. Every single expert they brought said different. They said no. They never called themselves that.
As far as a name, an ancient Egyptian having a name, Kem, and it happened not infrequently that the ancient Egyptians would have either a name or a nickname. More commonly, I think, a nickname, Kem. So, like, there's a guy like Pepi Ankh. His name is Pepi Ankh. The pharaoh, may the pharaoh Pepi live. It's the name itself is a reference to the king, and may actually have not been his original name. It might be a name that he adopted as a priest of a dead king, or as a government functionary under a living king. But so he would have that name Pepi Ankh, and then at the end it's Kem, the black.
What is their stance? Do y'all know? Because if the stance is that the Egyptians call themselves black people, every single expert we brought said different. Every single expert they brought said different. They said no. They never called themselves.
So he would have that name Pepi Ankh, and then at the end it's Kem, the black, the black, the black, the black.
The stance is that the Egyptians call themselves black people. Every single expert we brought said different.
He would have that name Pepi Ankh, and then at the end it's Kem, the black. The ancient Egyptians were big on nicknames. They were big on changing their names when they had a change in life circumstance, adding a name that reflected something about who they were as people. A man would have, or a woman might have a name, and then what they called a good name, a ren nefer, that we translate loosely as kind of a nickname. And so for a lot of people, Kem was their nickname, and it probably, or could have, possibly at least, referred to the fact that their skin and hair were darker than their average neighbor. Or their skin, probably. Most Egyptians seem to have black hair.
The stance is that the Egyptians called themselves black people. Every single expert we brought said different.
You could either say it's Ta-Kemi is short for Ta-Kemit. Again, so the black feminine and then we know it's clearly feminine there because we have the ta instead of a pa. So then Kemi would probably originally have had a feminine ending. But again, this is not Kemeti, but Kemit. So the black female one as opposed to the one that belongs to that which is black.
As far as a name, an ancient Egyptian having a name, Kem, and it happened not infrequently that the ancient Egyptians would have either a name or a nickname. More commonly, I think, a nickname, Kem.
And then over here, this is how many times we found people calling themselves Kim on different stelae all over the place.
But it would have been a name that described some aspect of who they were.
When you make the point to say by American standards they black, I'm cool with that. When you make the point to say by Americans saying they black, I'm cool with that.
Don't misunderstand me. I am not saying that the ancient Egyptians were not black as we Americans perceive it. They were. The way we define black with mixed race one drop rule, the way we define black as a positive thing, the Egyptians were black. Not maybe all of them according to our definition, but certainly most of them. And if you go to modern day Egypt today and you go to a place like Luxor down in the south, you'll be like, these people are black in our definition, our American definition of what black is, Jamaican definition of what black is. Yes, they are.
But my stance has been very clear. But when you make the point to say by Americans saying they black, I'm cool with that. Loser.
Basically trying to get an understanding of how do you, like, you see the glyph with the two people sitting and the three marks underneath, right? And like how would you how would you translate that in that script?
The last word.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the three short strokes they represent basically plurality, because number 3 is a number of multitude plurality, so it's a marker to indicate a plural term.
And like, so when you read it in totality, how do you read it, like, in a sense, like the people of the black land, or
just reads so it will be, the noun will be pronounced Kemet. So Egyptians, the writing system have signs that present sound and signs that present meaning. So in this case, sound, Kemet, is represented by this sign. You can't see my cursor, but this little sign represents the scale of a crocodile. So it's represent the color black, and the little half spherical
moon under there.
Yeah, that is a feminine marker, T. So Kemet, that's represents, these two signs represent the sound of how to pronounce this word, and they're also the seated men and women, behind these sounds. They represent the meaning of this word. So you see that words with these ideograms, they represent groups of people, and
for all y'all can't think for yourself and read for yourself, while direct proof in the form of an explicit statement may be lacking, the cumulative evidence from the hieroglyphic inscriptions, linguistic analysis, cultural context, and symbolic meaning strongly supports the interpretation of Kemet as the black man in Egyptian texts. This interpretation is widely accepted within the field of Egyptology and proves an valuable insight into the ancient Egyptian geography, language, and culture.
But again, going back to now your question about whether we should translate Kemet as the land of Egypt, you're quite correct here in saying that there's nothing clearly in this word or in the kind of attestations of this word to say the land of versus Egypt. What this literally says is that which is black. What this literally says is that which is black.
Now, when the scholars and they've all came to a consensus of somewhat what you told me, then the question is, what is which black? You know what I'm saying? And it comes down to, again, the people of the story. So I'm going to leave the people thinking along a bit and try to see what scholars leaned on besides secondary sources to come to the conclusion that the blackness that this referred to was the Nile silt.
Every single expert we brought said different. Every single expert they brought said different. They said no.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the, unfortunately, I think one of the major conclusions or one of the major influences here is there is a racist element. but there's not one text that I can point you to that specifically says, by Kemet, we mean the Black Silt.
Oh, that
But then you got shot. Now you's a base head. You're all messed up, man. Your life is cracked.
Oh, man, I know I look like stir-fried shit. Man, I know that. Man, don't hook me up with some food, man. Come on,
Look,
man.
man, there's a line. You gotta wait. Look, will you get this man something to eat, please?
Oh, yes, yes.
I know you don't smoke no more, family, but trying to run up on Smash. The boys fought they fight, had an illiterate leader, that's why they thought they right. I know you ain't back fucking with cracks, but you was tripping saying Egyptians wasn't black, bruh. Got your mask cracked by Kara Cooney. She said they definitely were black, your face looked like you forgot to take your DoorDash order out of the backseat, you was very high. Bruh, you they want to talk to Egyptologists. You show me a degree and don't show me what college it is. And even though you was a crack fiend, bruh, still know you was a black king, bruh. While I was rocking stages with my crew in 92, cause that's my occupation, bruh. You got arrested on the stump in Baltimore, hella distant.
Don't smoke crack out there.
Don't make me pull out this paperwork. If that's your hypothesis, nigga, make it work. And when you said 8 or 13%, you meant 8 out of 13 STRs, boy. Yeah, your mans went and messed that up. You're not a leader, boy, you never could compare my king. See that crown, boy, never could wear that thing. You want sources? Nigga, let me share my screen. Hey, Ruth, you know what I'm talking about, Hori.
Woo, I love them oranges, boy. Woo! Shout out to my artists in the building. Yeah, when going against Black Egypt goes horribly, horribly wrong. Gosh. Then they get to switching up.
The pseudo-killers and Bro Garfield have maintained that Egyptians were not black, and that they would never call themselves that. After their statements were disproven, they went on a rampage contacting white Egyptologists to try to get these Egyptologists to say Egyptians were not black, and they would not have called themselves that. This effort backfired tremendously as Kara Cooney told them that Egyptians were black, and Dr. Maggie Bryson said they would call themselves Kem, the Black, frequently. Now let's watch Brother Onk switch his position to agreeing with Smash. He knows now Egyptians were black and they called themselves that, confirmed by his experts.
In Egyptian, similarly, Kemet, another root of 3 sounds, right, 3 consonant sounds, refers to something that is black in color. Yeah? So it can be used for different words relating to blackness via the Kemet sound. It doesn't mean they're the same thing, it just means they all have something in common. So when it is used for Kemet, the Black Land, it carries the classifier, and you identified it correctly, it is indeed a classifier, or as Egyptologists sometimes call it a determinative, which shows that it's a place, right? You were showing me, you showed me the glyph. It's a place with crossroads that you're seeing from the sky. That says it's a location that is referring to the Black Land, yeah, the inundation, the Nile Valley. This one, you see, the classifier has changed, and so now it is cattle with horns, and it's referring to cattle that is black in color. Okay, so it's not the same word. Like I'm saying, everything that's sort of Kemet related, like this guy who calls himself Kemi, the Black, in his nickname, right, his epithet, that's also black. It's a slightly different word. It's got the same root, so it means something that's connected. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. So let me ask you this. Can't you hold on, let me say this. So you could read that the black people, right? The black people, right? So you could read that the black people, right? The black people, right? The black people, right? You could actually say that. I'm telling you, yo, the expert said you could literally say it if you wanted to. The black people, right? So let me ask you this. Can't you hold on, let me say this. So you could read that the black people, right? I've consistently said that interjecting race into the conversation, like black or white, is anachronistic. The black people, right? And during those time periods, they would have never called themselves black. So let me ask you this. Can't you hold on, let me say this. So you could read that the black people, right? And I simply said, if you're saying that the Egyptians call themselves black people, then you're completely out of cultural context. So let me ask you this. Can't you hold on, let me say this. So you could read that the black people, right?
Now, Brother Ankh agrees that you can read Kemet as the black people, so his pseudo-killer cult following will also have to switch their position. Game over.
Yeah, and it was game over. It was game over. So Cassidy wondering why it ain't nothing really to say about that too much more. Because all of the contentions that we met caused us to research harder and bring out some new work that stands on top of the work of the elders. I mean, stands on the shoulders, not on top. You know what I mean? So contributions to that conversation can be made by others who further want to push the argument along. But we provided a plethora of sources. We didn't gave you all, we didn't went in and kind of like ended that conversation. So video and being on YouTube and saying so much and getting in these fights will cause us to switch our stance as much as you guys just witnessed. When in the face of truth and facts, iconography, like you looking at how they left themselves drawn and you just saying all these other things. I'm glad the Magi are here. I'm proud of that shield right there. The gentlemen who think like that's some BS, let's get rid of that quick. You feel me? Yeah. That was cool though. Now, yeah, I ain't even tripping. I'm gonna go right into the bag and have some fun real quick. Let me see. James, I was watching some videos about the genetics that I will share that was kind of saying what you were saying. And I want to see how people react to these videos. Oh, no, I'm just going to have to open up Trey says. I will in a second. So doing that editing, doing all that stuff, you know, for what? For what this conversation we having? That was a lot of work I was putting in them times. You know, them videos was firing off every day, day after day. And still, we did get, you know, you could say, okay, these are like rated PG or whatever. They like geared towards a younger audience because it's slanderous or what have you. That was what was going on. But look, there's still a lot of information in that. We got to hear from a lot of scholars on the subject in the midst of all that entertainment or what have you. We got to see what Rosetta Cash and Dr. Joseph Ben Levy thought about the subject. I think that's a good thing. Yeah, comic relief, you know what I'm saying? But you know, the matters ain't funny, the matters is straight serious. But in order to just squash that out and let them know, y'all, they even admitted, You ain't got nothing. We ain't got nothing with the scholarship. You gonna make me play the Chef video? This was when Chef was just witnessing and was like, man, y'all seen this?
Well, meanwhile, little did we know this local big head.
Now, whoever don't understand this, I'm just gonna explain it. This is a classic scene from Belly, where I forgot the small town Method Man had went to Omaha, where he was about to start getting it in. But one night I'm listening to the Pseudo Killers. Well, let me continue. In the city of Omaha, Method Man came, as brothers start seeing him, they looked at him like he was doing too good with it. And they start hating out loud, just talking to each other like, man, I don't like that. I was listening to Carnivorous one night, and it probably wasn't that podcast, the same conversation seemed to be happening, not about me personally, but about, this conversation with the information. And so I just got a creative thought to how good his audio went with this video that when you guys watch it, you probably can't even tell which one is Shefford and which one is the people really from the video.
Well, meanwhile, little did we know this local big head nigga named Rico started feeling his pockets was getting a little thinner since we got there.
Hey, dog, them fools go right there.
Trouble was right there on that corner, staring right
What
at
I don't like is that the nigga look like he had.
They rolling hard too. They slanging real good, real good.
You feel me? So I'm like, yo, he look like he having fun. You know what I mean? So
Might have to drop him.
I don't know, y'all
might have to drop him.
Y'all gonna have to do something. For sure. Y'all gonna have to rain on his parade some type of way. Because I don't think
we gotta get our propaganda wheel up. We gotta get our propaganda wheel up.
You gotta get y'all propaganda because the scholarship
I don't like that shit.
is not gonna work.
Let's just stop. I don't even want to play that. I just wanted to play the scholarship is not gonna work. Ladies and gentlemen, did you hear it for yourself? In order to take down Black Egypt, they said they needed to get propaganda going because the scholarship ain't gonna work. Shout out to all these researchers. Shout out to y'all. Y'all should be just pat yourself on the back. You done got them in the corner. You listening in their corner, in the locker room. They're like, all right, we can't run up the middle no more. They like, we gonna just have to throw the ball deep. Because them boys got it. It just ain't gonna work. I ain't never heard an admission like that.
Propaganda because the scholarship
I don't like that shit.
is not gonna work.
The scholarship ain't gonna work.
Y'all gonna have to do something. Y'all gonna have to rain on his parade some type of way.
Y'all gonna have to rain on this parade some type of way. Woo!
I'll take that.
What I don't like is that the nigga look like he having fun.
We need to go fuck with some of them bitches.
You feel me?
You know what I'm saying?
Y'all like
So I'm like, yo,
rail,
he look like he having fun. You know what I mean?
Right here.
So
right there, though, son.
I don't know, y'all gonna have to do something.
For sure.
All right.
Y'all gonna have to rain on his parade some type of way. Because I don't
We
think
gotta
the
get our
scholarship.
propaganda wheel up. We gotta get our propaganda wheel
Gotta
up.
get y'all propaganda because the
nigga like me
the
wanna show my
scholarship
appreciation, you know what I'm saying?
is not gonna work.
It's not enough. It's not enough.
It's not enough. Like he got his shoulder rolled up. He walking through every scholar y'all put up. He walking through.
He walking through every scholar y'all put up. Woo! Imagine if you was just like, getting to hear that and you was like, you'd be laughing. You come out doing cartwheels and shit. I'm saying I changed the scenario to like an ancient battle, and they went back, and that was the conference they had. He like, man, he walking through y'all.
Yeah, he over there. He feel like he won. You know what I mean? Like,
Now see,
fuck all that. You know what I mean?
What's the subject of the sentence? He don't really know what I feel like. I mean, I'm just saying, he said, I ain't talking grammar. I'm talking like what he mean though when he say he feel like he won. He just telling them he won in the way that they can hear it, you know what I'm saying, impactfully. I mean, less impactfully. Now, the he ain't me. The he is y'all. The he is all of y'all. The propaganda didn't work either. But the he ain't me. Don't get it twisted. I'll be the spokesperson for this research we do. Right? That a lot of people done before we was even thinking about it. I could just present it. I could take the blows. It's nothing. Sacrifice a little bit of myself. Nothing. But man, this video was crazy. I had to put you in lights forever. This was good though. Good content. Oh, it's nothing.
Y'all put up. He walking through.
Man.
Yeah, he over there. He feel like he won. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Fuck all that. You know what I mean? Let's talk about something else. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let's talk about something else. You feel me? Chef, you got me 100 though. Don't get it twisted. Chef right on point. He just trying to tell them without them really getting their feelings hurt. That y'all lost this thing, y'all might as well switch it up and do something else. I guess it was an old video recap real quick because we ain't been talking about, it ain't been on that lately. We've been trying to teach. We've been getting back to being able to teach. It's been real positive. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's been, cats been showing, they've been learning from watching the show or what the show may have inspired them to do. You know how good that feels? Please. That's real. Man, I got inspired to learn a lot of refreshing up on my video editing. You know what I'm saying? We got to look at the good parts. I always bring something good up out of something. Like this video. So
the rematch are cattle.
I'm just going to talk about
Papyrus
this.
Lansing, we read the following.
Nobody wants to form an argument against this. Therefore, give it up to Brother Saber, Brother Reggie. There was apparently a missing link in the understanding of Kemet. And when Brother Reggie wrote this article about the relationship between the cattle and syncretism, he got a lot of ridicule. Shout out for Sadiq for holding me down. He got them links up. If y'all ever want to support this channel, you can hit one of them links right there, grab that album, Fights Over Egypt, or get a signed copy of Black Like Osiris. That's my latest book. If you don't want to, I just heard a Cash App too, right when I said that. Let me put the y'all heard that? Let me put the Cash App on the screen. So somebody just did that right then. Let me see who that was. Because I don't know if y'all know, but y'all support is needed. You know what I'm saying? Let me see. Shout out for the Cash App. I see you, JB. You feel me? And that support is wonderful. Hold up. I'm just saying thank you real quick, which is important. Yeah. All right. So we kind of belittle what Brother Reggie sold us, but it can't really be found too much in academia. Or, now that he wrote the paper, it can be found. Shout out, Brother Flag, you so much a constant. and consistent contributor. I don't know what to say. You know, appreciate you. Straight up. So, we should, if one of you want to do some more research into the cattle, what I presented wasn't exhaustive either. It was just, okay, let's go put up these primaries and have this refuted. So let's see what they're talking about.
It is the army scribe and commander of the Amun temple flock, Nebmari Nakti, who tells the scribe, Wenemdi Amun. In this text, the scribe uses the phrase Taz Bawem An Tn Par Jamn for Amun temple flock. This literally translates to gatherer of cattle of the house of Amun.
Let's talk about that last text that we just talked about. It's from the temple of Amun in the south, and it was what I see, and we could talk about this. This is maybe one of the most, we could discussable or debatable, where there is a army general giving over what he called his flock, the command of his flock, to a member from the temple of Amun. And when they said flock, shout out for the contributions, indigenous. There you go. Get the memberships up. Appreciate you. That's a gifted membership. Let me see. Not talking about cattle. So it is because we have to ask ourselves, since he said when Jute, when he gave over this herd to another military commander, what appears to be another military commander from the Temple of Amun. I think his name was Winnie Amun or whatever. Was he talking about a military? Was he talking about straight real cattle or military or some people? Like I said, that one is one that I'll be willing to go over and see. Love to see it challenged, but these other ones are a lot less refutable, a lot more irrefutable.
These are no cattle. This is a fighting contingency commanded by the Army General Neb Mat Renaktu. In the tale of Sinuhe we read, "Indeed, I am like a bull of who cattle in the midst of another herd." In ancient Egyptian, the word jam means young cattle. It also means youth, generations, offspring. His slaughterhouse was full of the enemy's children. The sacrificial cattle consisted of Asiatics.
So there we see when they equated cattle to humans. Well, as I explained and understand it, some of the first groupings they probably seen besides this small civilization or small tribes of people were flocks of birds and herds of animals. You probably seen the animals more numerous in a herd than you ever seen people that numerous in a herd. And so one of the, in the development of this language, the same word for a herd of cattle became used for a group of people. Let me just get this black off the screen.
During the time of Senwosret I, we find the above text equating Asiatics to sacrificial cattle. The term Wenjut means cattle.
Here we go. Now, they also had different types of cattle. And we learned from pastoralism, the particular type, from their, their historic pastoralist legacy, the one that, I don't think they was walking around Kemet in the times of Kemet, walking around with hella cattle, but they come from a pastoralist legacy. No, I'm not saying they didn't have cattle when in Kemet, but I think it was more a sense of husbandry, having them confined to your quarters. If anybody know other than that, let me know. But what developed out of that is about the time when they wanted to start talking about groups of people, it seemed that they opted for the same term they used for groups of cattle. They did it in multiple instances. I showed you the term jam for young cattle, and jam is also youth and offspring, and not the traditional use of the word youth or offspring. We also are, so it might be a group of youth or offspring. Well, we got this term on the screen, winjut, which would mean cattle, or winjut meaning people. And you notice a few things changing off of the root win. If we read the meta nature on top, we probably read win yet. And at the bottom, we probably read win jute. Win, how you say DJY? Win juet, and then, win yeet, juet. And at the bottom, we probably say win jute. Right? Fairly similar, nevertheless, they both built off of the root win, which meant it was like a well, someone probably say winedge. Okay, so I'm not. Please don't fault me for the pronunciation right now. But that root would mean like a unit. So when we start talking about what this cattle culture and pastoralism led to, we learn about the king equating himself to a bull since pre-dynastic times, being the what? Bull of bulls. Why would that be significant? Because if they looked at their people as a herd, if they used the same, a group of people as a herd, and if they used a word that was synonymous with a herd of cattle, and then the leader of their herd was seen as the bull of bulls, it will be easy to see that, yes, they indeed, not only cattle, there are other animal groups that equated people too. But we're looking at the evidence in this one when investigating the term Kemet. It is because if we look at a rare usage of the term Kemet, it will be used to discuss a divine herd of black cattle. Now, how do I know the cattle was black? Because of the word Kemet. Kim being the root, which means black, and T probably being the T of a collective and not necessarily a feminine T. Right? Indeed, bull of bulls. Nisu, of Nisu, and a god amongst the gods. Right? God of the gods. But I think that's significant, and more work needs to be put into that. At the 1 hour point, which we are about, I'm going to open this Zoom up and maybe we could get a cool 2 hour stream in. Thanks for supporting the stream. When y'all do that, y'all help it to go and grow. You feel me? And shout out to the contributors who also tap in and help us get the workshop going. Less teaching and more workshops, so that multiple teachers can chime in. Less like It's just me bumper-rumping them. Yeah, so, I mean, you know, I ain't going to do too much more on the video when going against Black Egypt goes wrong. But yeah, I will be back live a little bit later. Right now, I'll just put up the link in case y'all want to talk, build, or discuss something. This was that sentence I was working on yesterday, but I'm not going to go there and make all y'all run up out of here. You get to teach them the ancient African language, they get to running up out of here. We probably don't cuss enough when we be teaching. No, I would never do that. I'm just saying, though, being sarcastic. We probably need to fight over more what the glyphs mean. It don't mean that. I bet you it'll be popping. You lying. You know that some people be trying to retain their viewership by participating in that. Like thinking we always got to scream at each other to be providing our viewership with content. Peace to Brother Flag. You got your mic right?
Hotep, archers and master teacher.
Hotepu, how are you?
Oh man, I'm still learning. Smash, thanks to you and others like you who are picking up the banner and are exemplifying that you have heard. You have heard what the charge that was given to us by Dr. Clark, by Dr. Asa Hilliard, by Baba Jetty Carruthers, by esteemed scholar Theophilo Benga, when he pointed to the glyphs and said that they know we have heard by what we do. And you are a proud example. You are a wonderful example of that. And may your work and what you do be multiplied.
Appreciate that, man. Straight up. How's everything then?
Hey man, you know, still got those challenges. I'm really trying to keep it together. You know, some of the stuff that on the political scene is like a B movie and a rerun for me. I'm anxious about it because when I look around my community and within my own family, I see some cracks and some that concern me about how they're processing and about what's going on. I think we're living in some very perilous times, and I'm concerned with how prepared those that come after me are going to be able to process and endure what's coming.
Interesting.
I mean, when I was coming up the last time when we was faced with Reagan, and then we had an organization. We had US organization. We had the Black Panther Party teaching us, getting us politically educated, and so we could we had the tools to analyze some of the things that was happening around. And plus everybody of the warrior class age 15 to 25 was really active because we had that war in Vietnam and everybody was facing the draft as soon as you got out of high school or dropped out or graduated. And so people were politically active, politically interested. And so we had those discussions, those roundtables, and we could educate ourselves. Right now, I see almost the opposite taking place, that our community, that warrior class is being overwhelmed with propaganda and misinformation, and they don't have the skills or the tools to properly investigate and decipher that stuff so that they can put up a proper, adequate defense to protect themselves, their families, and their minds, much less their property and situation. concerns me deeply.
Mm.
I've even heard people, non-political or formerly non-political people, you know, a lot of professors and PhDs, and they're even talking about escape plans. You know, they're talking about their relationships with people, you know, on the continent, especially Ghana, and how they may think of, you know, taking off to find some refuge. And I'm like, wow, if they're talking like that, so it's not just me being, you know, living in my own head. And so those things, those are all little signs to me, indicators that I'm not alone in my concern about what's about to befall us in the next few months. Well, I'd like to know what you think about it, Smash.
I just think it's an election. I know that some got some you know, I've heard about this Project 2025 thing, and I know we've been faced with similar situations that seem just as perilous. And even like Trump's first time running, hold on, I might have to move something. Hold on, 1 second. Sorry. If there are different implications that would lie behind what's in this plan called Project 2025, and whether we believe or not that some of that stuff is in order to be implemented, whether Trump gets in office. I don't know too much more than that. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that 2025 project, the essence of it, that's old news to me. And sometimes we get focused on the individual personality and lose sight of the big picture. You know, Trump is just a figurehead. He's a puppet. He's, you know, I mean, you can see the man is not anything to be afraid of as an individual. But and people misunderstand what many people are not aware of the fact that the president, that office, he's just a figurehead, and he's doing the will of the 1% of the 1%. Those are the people. Those are the power, the forces behind it. And so they've determined that to get him in there, then that they can do away with a lot of the things that make life bearable for our community, number one, but for others, because their main goal is money and power, what that represents. Where on the other hand, the government is supposed to do things to alleviate and alleviate some of the problems and pressures on the populace. And so that's why we have these agencies, you know, the education agency, health agency, social services, et cetera, et cetera. And so the people like Elon Musk and his ilk, they're only concerned with profit. And so that's why they're talking about, this fool said something about an office or agency to examine all the different agencies they have and see which one they can eliminate. Well, those things that serve a purpose, that serve the populace, which is us and and those that come after, our children. And if they just going to make everything squeeze every dime, they just want to get all the money that funds these things, and just take that and revert it to themselves and their other projects, man. It's going to be bad on regular people, on the poor. See, people don't understand. A lot of people don't even know the fact that we didn't have Social Security. That came in after World War II. We didn't have junior colleges, and they in order, which now they call community colleges, until after World War II. We didn't have housing for the general population until after World War II. Those things were brought in to assist returning soldiers coming back to the community, and all those things, and we built on them. And us as Black people, in the situation that we found ourselves in, we took advantage of those things to lift a lot of us out of poverty. And so to eliminate those things in this high-tech technological era that we're in, what is going to happen to those late bloomers, people that don't do well in school until they're in their older years, and they don't pick up these skills like you've done. I see you do it with this media, and I'm just always amazed with the time you spend teaching and studying, and then editing, and then doing your music, and so you basically mastered time management and utilizing your skills. Well, that didn't come to you overnight. So what about those less fortunate? I mean, you worked in the community. You worked you worked at Recreation and Parks Department, and you're very aware of sometimes we got late bloomers or people that make mistakes early and have to recover from that. What happens when you're taking away all of the means for those people to re-enter society? Well, what are they going to do? And what are you going to do with them? And so that's what I'm concerned with. You know, I spent a lot of times in my early years studying the rise and fall of the Third Reich, wondering how Hitler got into power, and what kind of people allow that kind of thing to happen. And then when I looked at it, I said, oh, that didn't happen overnight. You know, and the populace didn't understand what was going on until the man actually got his hand in power and then put it all together and then said, okay, I'm taking over the world. And so there are those people, and there are these systems that are in place, and you can utilize them to benefit the people, the populace, us, or you can use them to benefit individuals, Elon Musk, Trump, and their it. And here's a time where we can push that back by holding the line. And I don't have a lot of confidence that that's going to happen. Where do you pick up all of your skills on editing these films? And oh man, it was hilarious. And what do you know about Steely Dan? I was like, wow, this guy here, you what a
Oh, that was some of my producers. That was some of my producers who knew how to pull some of that stuff up. I just got to make sure my garage door is closed. Let me just for 1 second.
Okay, me too.
I'm right here. Well, we gotta be resourceful. It's just about being resourceful, y'all. You feel me? So hold on, let me get the camera right. Put this on speaker. It's just about be. Oops, let me see.
Excuse me, I had to
My
get me some
bad.
water.
My bad. I was trying to put it on my view only. Okay, it's all good. I think it's about I forgot. You know, well, for me, it's about being creative, being productive, and trying to help. The way I try to help others is if somebody is in one of those situations that you're talking about, like we often are, the majority of our people are, as far as the median home income is concerned. I mean, you know what I mean? Maybe we got some money that's not being reported or something, but I'm pretty sure those people in the better with the better household incomes also do too. And so I wouldn't say that to say, I'm saying we got to figure out. Me as a young Black man, I was like, knowing that I had to at least use I ain't saying everybody's a creative being, but if that was my vice, then that's what I had to employ and use the tools, not just one tool of creativity, not just the microphone, but all of them that are employed and not really, that some of them, even ones that take license and permits and certificates, but also the others that don't. It don't take nothing to really sit at a video editor and learn it until you know how to work it enough for people to want to employ you for your services. And so that's how I started my first video production company, not by soliciting work, but by using my own artistry. I had like a little 67 Malibu, sold it, bought video equipment, and shot videos for myself. And it was just like the natural was or whatever was on my side, because in 1 week of me releasing the first videos I shot on myself, artist from Oakland came through and said he wanted 7 videos. My first business was the person who wanted 7 videos. Now, I didn't learn it in school. I didn't learn it in nothing. And so, I'm not to go too far into my own story. I'm basically saying, I think we need to try to teach the youth to be able to have the propensity to, we don't even call it opening up a business because that sounds scary. At the younger age, we got to teach them how to just take it and make it transactional and for a reason, and maybe even for their ultimate goals, what they're trying to do. You trying to ultimately, say my daughter wanted to, she was really good at doing fingernails. She just would sit around doing nails all day. So we bought her fake hands, you know what I'm saying? So she didn't have to need a lot of this other stuff that would possibly support her and push her along the lines of being able to be, what is it, in cosmetology, is it?
Yes.
So I'm not saying I got no answers, but in a workshop like this, I would say some of the things I would always focus on was trying to learn the tools that were available to me that would help me further along in what I'm trying to do. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some of them, no matter what a brother trying to do. And I don't hate to say it, but there are even grants and tools within the government system that we don't know how to access. But they can't give away the money because certain clauses or what have you got that money mandated that it's a person of color who gets it. You know what I mean? And now they use the term person of color because black people wasn't just going to get it. So they had to open it up and let more people available to go get it. Then that wasn't working. Then they start saying minorities. So now you could just be a woman of any color and apply for some of these funds that were fought for and set aside for black people. You know what I'm saying? African Americans. And so maybe we should spend a little bit of time learning how to access these things as well.
I like to suggest, I heard you edit your own thought, and you said, I don't want to get too far off into my own story. As a member, I joined in and I saw your, the bonus stuff, and I saw some of that stuff that you were talking about and the work with you in the park. And I want to remind you, because I know you already know, we learn by imitation. And your story can be imitated if you share it, freely and broadly. So I was just a little suggestion. And then the other thing, I graduated from high school in '69. And so I was fortunate to be influenced by the return of Vietnam veterans and Black Student Union and junior college. And then 1 year, I think it was 71 or 2, I watched the government come in and remove the leadership from these different political organizations that were educating us, independent of the school. They took that away. And one of the things they replaced those organizations with were women's rights groups, because there was the women liberation movement was in its formative stages. Gay rights, gay liberation was in its formative. And so you said, if I heard you correctly, is that because we weren't utilizing some of these programs and these set-asides, they brought these people in so they could get used. Well, that's true, but I want to put something else on that. The civil rights movement, itself, when at a certain point, and I think it was when, and don't let me go too long. Let me put my timer on here. The Civil Rights Bill came through. It was worded to rectify past injustices to the formerly enslaved, or the people formerly under servitude, formerly in servitude. But they changed that. They changed that wording later to change that to minorities. And that's a systematic change, because who is the number one minority in the populace? It's the white female. So instead of those set-asides going exclusively to Black people, when it said formerly in a position of servitude, to minorities, well, then that puts the white woman right up to the front of the line and pushed us down. And then they had the gay liberation thing, and so that pushed us further down. So I just wanted to share that little tidbit, and so to help with the analysis that you brought forth about the utilization of those funds, those set-asides and stuff. And that's the stuff that is going to disappear.
Word up, and I thank you for the contribution. And for the kind words. I actually was stopping talking about my personal stuff from lack of going off course, but I definitely don't have no problem sharing it. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate that. I see brother Pan African James in the building, and we got that good guy in the building.
Peace, Smash, peace, Elder Flag, and peace, that good guy. What's happening with everybody?
All is well. How y'all doing today? And shout out, somebody just sent me another Cash App contribution. I love it when people go out their way and say, yeah, I'm about to send that Cash App. So let me say shout out to them real quick. Shout out to MO, you know what I'm saying? Thank you. You know, because Cash App don't show the YouTube names, so I got in trouble for saying real people whole names. I just say your first and last initial. MO, shout out to you. But yeah. So what's up, James?
Yo, can I say something about that?
Yes, sir. What's up? How you feel?
No, I just wanted to say something about, I think that we missed the opportunity when Obama was in office to get anything done, because he had at a small particular time, he had the majority in both the Senate and the House. So just to say, if they do get Kalama in office, you don't have the House and the Senate to get anything passed for particularly Black people. So the opportunity to get something just for us, I think that window has passed, unless we get a progressive president in.
Well, having both the House and the Senate definitely matters. And I definitely remember when Barack had that, but he pushed through his health care plan instead of trying to do something significant, another direction. So that's definitely the model that is most appropriate. But I don't see an agenda on the table for us in any kind of capacity for that to even happen. That good guy, you know, like even if
Right,
they did, even if they did, we don't have our agenda together to say what we actually want. I mean, it's a lot of
that's where my pseudo conversation come in.
Yeah, that's what we need to. We really need to. What do we want? What do we see as a problem that we need to have them is what would garner our vote is what I'm saying. You know what I mean? So that's where we at, in my opinion. So I'm just sitting back and watching the show myself. And I am right there. Yeah, I'm just watching the show and see what's gonna happen. It's getting in. We got what, about 14 days left.
Yeah, she's placating to black men by saying she's going to give us loans.
Oh, well, I'm tuned out right now. That good guy. I know you heavily vested, but I'm tuned out. I'm trying to see what's gonna happen. Well, you know, I hope whoever y'all want to win, and we're gonna see what's gonna happen. That's where I'm at with it. Because I mean, if you study the history of this whole country, you know what I'm saying? It's just really on a whim, you know, and even the presidents that have tried to do something that's honorable, it seemed like they kill them off.
Well, listen, man. Organize locally, and that's where you get pushed, and you work there. The national stuff,
right?
The only thing the president's going to do for you is what he's forced to do. Obama told you that when he came in office. He said, "You want me to do something?" He said, "Make me do it." He said that out of his mouth. He said it out of his mouth. So we have to work harder locally in your own community, block by block, district by district, and put forth your agenda. Nobody's going to do anything for Black people except Black people. And when the Black people come together, and these is no individual, there's a system. We're fighting against a system that was built on the backs of Black people. And that's why this whole fight about whether Kemet was Black and they called themselves Black, why it became important once again. We had that fight in the 70s and we smashed it academically. And then now it came as the community, as more of the populace, the general population, and the Black population got more aware and interested in these subjects that we did. We had to have a battle all over again to educate them. And so what's the purpose of it? What's the purpose of studying Kemet? Because Sankofa, you reach back and fetch the tools, the knowledge, the wisdom, the ways of doing things, and adapt them to your current circumstance and situation. Death don't enter into it. Build up your network, because individuals do not trump systems. And so when the more we become aware of that, and the more you do things like you do, this is a wonderful thing right here. The more educated, the more people that comes to this platform and are elevated in the ability to read these glyphs,
ain't no excuse.
The potential power and impact that can have locally and globally, it's unimaginable. And so that's one of the reasons I support it, because I see you guys. I didn't know there was so many of you guys around that even spend time with the glyphs, and it had been frustrating.
Brother Flag, it was a surprise to me. Just imagine when in 2012 when Smash them showed up. I was like, man, what's going on? You know, they just popping out of nowhere. Him, Wujau, Netanel, Sinjetti. I mean, there's a brother Reggie. I mean, everybody just, you know what I'm saying? And so I was kind of like intimidated at first, but then when Smash came on the scene and he started putting it in your face, it's like, what can you do? I mean, because it's really not that hard. For one thing, it's kind of like if you really in tune with who you are as an African, it's seemingly simple. Like when I made that mistake the other day and I put the T on the end, I tripped on that for 24 hours. Like, you know, it's like already embedded in us, you know, to understand it. And it's really just pictographs. So that's even more simpler for the African mind to comprehend. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you talking about a one little glyph. You know what had me stumped until I think it was 2 years ago when I ran across Wu Jiao's presentation on clarity, was those glyphs in the temple with the hovercraft and the tank. And the, man, for decades I was looking for the answer to that. And even in the first trip to Kemet, when I asked the guy, how do you explain that? But he said, we don't talk about it. So even going to Kemet, I came back, I still didn't get an answer.
Right.
Besides the pseudo stuff. But when I got on Wu Jiao's channel and he showed how those glyphs fell down and left, and man, but it took 30 years of actually seeking that information out.
That's a shame. We see, we ain't been around as long, but some of us haven't been around as long as you as far as dealing with that. But yeah, it was great to get clarity on that. How, you know, and then you can even look how deep they dug into it to see that it's just the overdraft of what the originals were. You know what I'm saying? They don't, you know, but even in the later period, they did start carving a little deeper to try to make sure they couldn't copy over their work. But yeah, it was good to get clarity on that too, because we would still be running around talking about, look, they had helicopters. You know what I'm saying?
And people still come to me today. They, oh yeah, Brother Flag, you on that. So how do you explain that? You know, wasn't it giants that moved the stones? They had helicopters and all that stuff. And I said, wait a minute. And I said, and I can give them the link. I said, sit there and watch this brother break it down for you. No, we don't need none of that stuff from outer space or anywhere. It's all in us. The potential is there, but it takes work, and it takes discipline, and it takes consistency. And also we must build a connection with those that come behind us as we stay connected to those like myself who are on the verge of ancestry. So that if you got that link from the elders to the youth, then you know the future is bright. No matter what they do in politics, no matter what they do with this country, as a people, our future is bright.
Correct. Yeah, that's how I look at it too. When I see young brothers that's coming behind us, I be like, man, we in good hands. You know what I mean? So just passing it forward or passing it back is important. Peace, Joey. See you popped in. Just speaking. Yeah, man. Good. So dealing with
You talking to me?
Yeah, well, I was saying, I was just speaking to you, Sing. I see
Yeah, I'm outside right now. What's up?
Oh, nothing. Like, yeah, you on the move,
You been charging the microphone right now?
You say what?
Yeah. I'm not hearing you. Give me a second.
Yeah.
Give me a second.
It's kind of breaking up.
Yeah, 20 minutes, so give me a second. Right? I'll come back just now.
All right. Yeah, so let's see what we're gonna do here.
Also, what's up with it?
Yeah, I was thinking about the beginning of the show, man. That never gets old, Smash. You know that? Like people trying to say, as I seen some comments saying that's an old video, but we still need that from time to time to remind us of what, because that was the battle. You know what I'm saying? And you know, to the victors go the spoils. So I mean, it ain't nothing wrong with reminding, because people will forget, and they seemingly act like that wasn't really what was going on in the community. Like now we starting to hear people say that they never said that. And you know what I'm saying? So refreshers are always good. I'm telling you, I mean, I enjoy them every time I see them, because and you know what? And then it refreshes my memory of what they say. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes they'll have us thinking, man, did he say that? But then when you show that, Because I'm like, well, then why does Smash say that he said that he never said, he said that because he's saying now that he didn't say that he never said that they wasn't black. He said that they was black and they was all kind of color. You know what I'm saying? So positions change, but you didn't make that claim without it being valid. So when you show his past statements, that verifies that we not crazy. He did,
especially in Goldie too. Like that's crazy.
yeah, and Goldie's words too. They all switched up on what they said, and they are coining it as growth or something like they grew past our elementary thinking.
No, James. They got caught in a lie, and now they're doing to look stupid. That's what it is. Have them switch it up.
See, Joey be valuable.
It's like if you outside. No, it's like if you outside, eh? And you start a grand charge a man and talk big, and say, hey, we'll beat you up, and then you get punched in your mouth. You just calm down, right? That's what happens. That's what it is.
All the way from Trinidad, Dad and Tobago, all the way from Trinidad. The brother that understand what happened.
But that's what happened. Your grand trying to act like you're the biggest bully until you get punched in your face. That's what Mike Tyson said. So somebody got punched in the mouth. Now you can't talk that junk no more. Is it gonna happen again? That's it.
They didn't dwindle down to one show a week.
Right.
James with a whole new crew, James. The crew's not the same.
But did you see
everybody?
I mean, hold on. I don't know if you seen it, that good guy, but they got an intro video for the show, right? And they, they saying that we Egypt out and all of this, but the intro got Egyptian iconography in the fucking video. Excuse my language. Did you see the video to begin? You need to go see it.
No, I ain't catching the beginning.
Go look at the beginning of their last show and look at how they when they start. It's not right when they started, but it's gonna be a video in there, and it's got all Egyptian iconography to represent them. But they the ones saying that we fanned out on Egypt. You see what I'm saying? So it's just crazy that they didn't even think, they didn't have the wherewithal to even edit that out of their new video. Why would you do that if you say you claiming that y'all not the Egyptians?
I don't get them, yo.
That's they whole stance. But anyway, like even on the genetic arguments that we have, I prove with just simplicity because they keep gish galloping with a bunch of haplogroup mutations and all of that type of stuff. They keep gish galloping the fact that the only thing that matters is measuring the back migration of when they came in, and we have data for that. And they keep ignoring it and act like they can't read or acting like we can't read. So I'm gonna keep reminding them, just like Smash did with his work, that they wrong until they admit they wrong. So I don't mind continuing because it seemed like they leave the linguistic argument because they can't mess with Smash on that. They just act like they don't hear him. You see what I'm saying? But they shifted to a genetic argument, which I know that you can't do that and keep talking about haplogroups all day. It's impossible. Get to the meat and bones of it. How do you identify these people? And it's only through introgression. So we got to learn that. We got to hold their feet to the fire on the simplicity of that argument that Ngozi keeps trying to make complicated. Because I don't know what's going on. See, Ngozi's deal is his indoctrination, in my personal opinion, I'm going to put it on me, with Islam, I think that he's adhering to that, and that's why he does what he does. As far as, because I'm trying to put a finger on why, if he knows about genetics, why does he still hold this stance? And that's the only thing that I could charge him with. Maybe his indoctrination clouds his view. But I'm getting indoctrinated with that.
What are you talking about? What stands the back migration being?
He said that the Arabs, because that's what they are, the Eurasians. He's saying that the Arab Eurasians that are there in North Africa have been there for 20,000 years. And we know that we can measure the back migration and genetically and tell you that when these people came in.
Well, tell me, was it 20,000 years? Or enlighten me, please.
Well, it's not 20,000 years per se. What they're talking about is how you identify, Brother Flag, is you identify by the level of introgression. Now, to simplify it, I'm going to just say, me and you are African Americans. We are introgressed with Eurasian DNA. But look at us. Phenotypically, are we still African?
Yes.
If I look at you, you are African. So it goes by a precise unit of measure. So if you took a DNA test, Brother Flag, your DNA is going to show that you're going to be less than 1% Neanderthal and admixture. You're gonna fall up under that. But people that are Eurasian, they fall at a percentage of 1% or more. That is how you genetically identify them. So if we know that the people in North Africa are 1% or more, then we know that they are Eurasian. It's as simple as that. They cannot lie to us.
I think you won that argument too. You feel me? They don't got nothing to say back to that. And I mean, it's just what do they say when you say it?
Like I told you, they get Gallup up out of it with letting in Gozy.
So do they say
10 minutes?
Do they say it doesn't matter?
Brother Rich was there. Watch this, Mr. Rich. He was there. They get Gallup for 5 and 10 minutes and don't answer the question clearly, and then they end the show. That's what they do.
So they be like, they be like you by you saying that you're a racist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying
they turned it on that.
Right, you're right. And my question is, what do they mean by that statement? Why do they say that? But because you're stating a fact and they don't like that fact? Is that what it is?
Well, I'm about to show y'all something. Go ahead, James.
It's just the way for them to get out of it. Just like remember when we was in school, you had people that was really less knowledgeable than you, and they made fun of the people that were smart. It's the same thing. That's how they did me. When I introduced the Neanderthal into the conversation, they started talking about that racist stuff. And then they said, you see what I'm saying? But I was trying to steer us on the fact that you can't use haplogroup mutation to tell what race a person is. You use the introgression of another hominid that wasn't Homo sapiens sapien to do that. That's the only way you can measure.
Not to cut your wisdom, I'm sorry, but I gotta give you credit, James, for putting that to the community, because nobody want to give you real credit for that, for bringing that to the light that Neanderthal DNA, and you was the first one I seen that really brought that out to be like, oh, this is something different.
All right, check this out. Let me show you this. Now, this video, this channel, and I'm not saying how many subscribers, 46 million, mean that they right? I just wanted to know that this video got 46 million subscribers and 600,000 views. But it's just a quote from a scientist in here that I think you shared before that I want to see how y'all react to it. Let's see.
The Neanderthal.
So the talking we'll hear when the scientist is quoted.
Remember the Neanderthals? Our superstar humanoid cousins of the Pleistocene era in all their wide-nosed and slope-foreheaded glory? They roamed through Europe and Asia for over 350,000 years before they vanished. This was around the same time our ancestors, the Homo sapiens, decided to take a vacation from Africa and explore the world. We may never know what truly happened to the Neanderthals and why they didn't make it to the present times, but thanks to some hefty archaeological digging and impressive fossil finds, we now know a bit more about them. One theory for their disappearance is that the climate wasn't suitable for them anymore. Supporters of this idea think Mother Nature turned on the Neanderthals and sent them packing. Unfortunately, if we look at Neanderthal archaeological sites in Italy, for example, there are no signs of weather catastrophes that could have wiped out this entire species. Others believe there was a bit of resource competition between Neanderthals and humans. That's why specialists also dug around several other archaeological sites where Neanderthals and sapiens might have rubbed elbows for about 3,000 years. In this case, it does seem that the Neanderthals were a bit behind with their tools. Their technology was like flip phones in the age of VR. But who knows if these two species ever crossed paths in that particular region? The evidence is still fuzzy. How they went extinct isn't the only information we're curious about when it comes to Neanderthals. Other scientists, for instance, are trying to decode some of the Neanderthal molecular barcodes to identify their specific traits, some of which you might share, believe it or not. Sure, Neanderthals as a whole species did, in fact, go extinct, but that's not to say remnants of their DNA can't be found in humans. Now, you know how things go when folks live near each other. Some genetic mixing was bound to happen. The evidence? A dash of Neanderthal DNA which was found in modern folks. Now, this is where the plot thickens. Scientists thought that since Neanderthals never lived in Africa, their DNA wouldn't be found in modern African populations. Well, it turns out that African people have about 0.5% Neanderthal DNA too. This doesn't mean our Neanderthal relatives simply teleported through African territories without leaving any trace behind. What this discovery actually implies is that early humans might have visited Europe, mixed their genetic material with that of Neanderthals, after which they returned to Africa. That's a lot of migration. How did we stumble upon that Neanderthal DNA these days, you might wonder? Well, scientists gathered thousands of people from all around the world. Participants came from places like East Asia, Europe, South Asia, America, and Africa. Percentages may vary, sure, but around 20% of the good old Neanderthal DNA is still found in US modern folks. Sure, the average Joe only carries about 2% of that caveman swagger. If you're from certain places or families that have a smidge more Neanderthal in their gene soup, you're looking at 3% tops. Is there anything in particular that we share with our long-gone humanoid cousins? As it turns out, our Neanderthal ancestors gifted us more than just their company for some thousands of years. They also passed down the incredible legacy of their noses. Well, you see, the Neanderthals were outfitted with some seriously high-rising sniffers. These weren't just
I don't want to
cosmetic.
play that whole
They
video.
were also quite the asset in chilly climates.
I'm wondering, did I play the wrong video?
Dripping, teeth-chattering kind of cold where your breath could freeze before it leaves your lips. During those days,
I might have
the
played the
Neanderthal
wrong
noses
video.
worked as personal heaters.
Okay. Yeah, my bad. I just got stuck on my phone.
Well, it was informative, I'll tell you that much.
But I got stuck, and I ain't even tripping. But it's a video in that indeed where I've seen a scientist say exactly what James said. But then, you know, if you let videos keep running, they keep playing more videos on the subject.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
and then it didn't went further down your
I
algorithm.
done pulled up the wrong one, yeah.
I have a question for you guys. I've heard of people, and I've been accused of being a racist. And I want to know, did you guys change the definition of the word? Because my understanding of the word of racism is the ability or intent to oppress, marginalize, wipe out a group of people by one race against another. And by that definition, and you guys help me here, by that definition, I'm excluded from being a racist, and I deny that I'm a racist, but I proudly proclaim I'm ethnocentric. I'm race first. And I say race, I mean group, the African. And then listening to your thing right there, Smash, the guy kept saying humans as opposed to Neanderthals. And when he says human, I hear African. Tell me if I'm clear or if I'm confused here.
Yeah, in opposition to Neanderthals, that's definitely what you're hearing. But I wonder if you paid attention to the imagery that he used for the human. Did you see that?
What image?
The image that he used in that video for the human, he did not associate him with the African.
But I don't.
Yeah, but I'm just saying the little games that they play that we have to make sure that we catch when they're disseminating that information.
I'm correct in my understanding that when he's referring to humans, he's talking about Africans, correct?
In that sense, yes, at that time frame, because it's an opposition to Neanderthal. But Europeans are humans today.
Yeah, well,
Are they?
I'm talking about at that time.
Yeah, so I said at that time variable, yes,
they will be considered human beings today.
Huh?
Are Europeans human beings today? That's the question
Yes.
you have to ask.
Yes.
No, they're not.
Yes.
Because they don't act like that.
Man, hold
They don't
on,
act like
man.
human beings, so no, they
Yo,
aren't.
Joey, you out of
No, they don't
control.
act like human beings, so they are
No,
not. They don't act like
listen, Joey,
human
hold
beings.
on.
Oh, let Joey talk. Let Joey talk.
Yo, you out of control, Joey.
Come
If
on,
they don't
Joey.
act like
I'm
human
trying to
beings,
help
then
them.
they can't
We got to help our
if they don't
brothers.
act, no,
Because they going to make that a
Jay.
sound bite, Joey. Slow down.
That ain't nothing.
They
That ain't
are
nothing.
humans. Listen, they're humans.
I'm not that important to get no sound bite yet, so I can talk crazy right now. I ain't reached
Okay,
that
go
level
ahead.
yet.
I'll try
Nah,
to
you
stop.
can't say to act
I ain't reached there yet.
humane. Like,
I know but they don't.
no,
They
they
don't
don't
act
act
like that, so they can't
humane.
be
What I'm
human.
saying.
We can't put a totality on the situation is what I'm saying.
Do you realize, do you realize when you talk about phenotype and you look at the phenotype includes behavior and not just physical look? Do you know that? Look it up and it will tell you that phenotype includes behavior too. That means being a human being has behavior.
Hold on. Phenotype, I mean behavior included with what?
If you look up phenotype, it's not just a physical attribute. It also says there's a behavior behind a phenotype. If you look it up, it will tell you that. Not just a look. It will tell you that. So that means when you talk about race has behavior and humanity has behavior too. All of them have behaviors attached. That is what race is, a social construct that tells you when people think of you based on how you look. That is what race is. Because you never hear anybody who do genetic testing talk about race.
But there is no real. Hold on. But in reality, there's no real different races in reality.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Right.
What are we talking about then? What are we talking about when we're using these terms? We're not talking about reality. We're talking about a fantasy. When we talk about race, the fundamental meaning of race is group, right? Correct?
No.
Okay.
No, Baba.
Rescue
they
me.
don't acknowledge race because race deals with, because you look a certain way, I'm going to attribute a certain behavior to you and call you a savage with no actual scientific principles behind that. You're Africans, you're savage, and you have no soul. That's race. Have no scientific basis whatsoever. Nothing.
Okay, good.
You're giving them too much credit. You're giving them way too much credit.
What y'all talking about?
We're trying to come up with some clarity on the notion of the word race. And Joy was saying scientifically. Well, scientifically, science is the classification and organization of knowledge. And when I use that notion of science and relate it to the word race, race just fundamentally means grouping. And Joy
I could say this. I will give you that.
Are you agreeing to disagree before you start talking?
No, I don't agree with that.
Hold on.
Wait.
Hold on, let me answer. What I'm going to tell you is, if we break it down simply to be nice, we could say that.
I try to be nice. We're trying to be accurate. We're trying to be accurate. Don't be nice.
That's a yes.
Okay, thank you. Now that good guy wanted to say something.
But I'll put a but on there, and then we get back to the but after that good guy talk. I'm not gonna give you yes, but
I agree that there's only one race on the planet, is the human race. And who started the human race is black people, and there's if I'm wrong, I may be wrong, but there's other I don't know how to say it, but there's other species under black. I would say. I'm not saying it right, but that's what.
That's not another species, but yeah, I'm gonna get ready to make sure this video at about 2 hours. So maybe we could get our final comments in right now, and then I might come back in a minute. Just trying to get it right. All right, come Chef. But anybody wanna get their last words real quick? Chef, you coming in. We on our way out. I'm gonna come back with another show. But what you had to say? What you had to say, Chef? Oh, your mic, we can't hear you.
Don't front. What up?
I
What
was
up?
just
What up?
muting
What up?
now, Smash, because Joey had, you know how Joey be doing.
Okay, yeah. What's up, Chef?
Num chillers came through kicking with y'all.
I'm gonna come back with another show right after this. I'm trying to shorten the length of my shows up. This is about 2 hours. But you want to get a word in before we can close down?
Oh no. Go ahead. You can end it.
Anybody want to get a word in?
Nah,
What you coming
we'll
to
tap
do?
in when we'll tap in when you
Reconnaissance, yo. You on a reconnaissance mission, Chef, today? Yeah.
Word up. Well, thank y'all for the support. I'll be right back with another stream.
All right,
peace. Word up. And thanks to all y'all. If y'all want to take the time to donate to the show right now, there go the Cash App. You know what else? I got that book, Black Like Osiris, and that album, Fights Over Egypt, on my Bandcamp. Make sure y'all support that. I'm up out of here, and thank y'all for the constant, continuous helping the show grow.